this session of School with Glen here, we're going to go through our beadlock rings. So on the drag racing side, we've got lots of different beadlock options, right? So let's talk a little bit about what we have here. If you want to run through them, maybe I'll ask the questions because I'm going to get an education here too.
Basically, this is our standard lock ring for a 15-inch wheel. It'll have a 16-bolt center, and it'll have half-inch lightning holes in between the 16 bolts.
And we've got these are actually counterbored at the angle, right? So
they're counterbored at 10 degrees because basically the lock ring is going to be like a potato chip. It'll take any bead bundle you have. Sometimes you might have to have some longer bolts to get it started, but it'll take any bead bundle and probably most horsepower up to about 2,000.
Okay, and I know we make these out of 70-75, right?
Correct.
So we want to get that extra tensile strength there. So
yeah.
Not only will you'll get that grip, but it'll take that flex, and then it's gonna spring back. So you're gonna get longevity of it.
Yeah. So basically, after the ring bends a little bit, it'll still be good if you mount a new tire because it'll still be able to get the same torque on the beadlock bundle.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So that's our standard ring there, and that's good to what horsepower?
You know, you're looking like about 2,000.
Okay. All right. So that's our 15-inch ring.
Correct.
Okay. So what do we have next here?
Then we have a 15-inch ring scalloped. So this ring will be scalloped, and we will also scallop the weld-on ring that goes onto the wheel. So not only will this be scalloped, but the part that we weld on will be scalloped. And basically about the same horsepower as this one. It's just a little different looking, like a lot of
fancier.
people. Yeah, a little fancier, yeah. And you got to remember, you could put this ring on a scallop, but you really can't use the scallop ring on a regular one because the weld-on ring would not be scalloped.
Okay, so so this ring could go on a scallop bolt-on, but this ring you wouldn't want to go on a regular.
Yes, it would look funny.
Right, it would look funny. Yeah, we don't want to look funny.
No, we
That's
don't
why
want
we're
to
doing
look
these
funny.
things. Okay, so what is our next option here?
So basically, as your horsepower goes up, this is our heavy-duty 15-inch ring. It has 16 bolts, no lightning holes, and this is good for wheels that you want a 15.3 spec. So these will go up to 4,000 horsepower. It's a little bit thicker ring. It's knurled on the inside. So if you needed a wheel, you could use this on any wheel, but if you needed a 15.3 spec, you need this in our heavy-duty center.
Okay, so this is going to go, so that's why we've got these pockets here. This is actually this is the one we make from the 3/8 thick material, right? And then that's why we're not machining these all the way out. We're leaving a little over an eighth that looks like material there to get that extra strength for the higher horsepower.
Yes.
And then, of course, the knurl to prevent tire slip. And the bead seat is also knurled as well, correct?
Yep.
Okay, on the weld-on. All right, so we're still in the 15-inch ring. We're up to 4,000 horsepower now?
4,000.
Okay, and then what about if we got more than that?
Well, if you have more than that, you're better off going to our 15-inch ring with a 24-bolt pattern. So it has the 24 bolts. The holes are drilled at the same 10-degree angle because it's going to bend with the wheel as you tighten the beadlock. It's lightened, and it's also knurled on the back too. So if you have more than 4,000 horsepower, you're probably better off going with this lock ring.
Okay, so we're getting, we're going from 16 to 24 bolts. So 18 more bolts, less gap between the bolts.
Yep.
Getting us a little more torque rating.
Yeah, this you'd go with your 15.3 spec, also on a 15-inch, where you'd use the heavy-duty center.
Got it. Okay, so we're going to probably pair this up with that center when we're going up to around 8,000 horsepower like we talked about.
Yes.
All right, so 4,000 to 8,000, we're going to have our 15.3 ring here, which is our 24-bolt heavy duty.
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right. So I think we covered all the 15s. Now we're getting into the 16s. What do we have here?
Now, basically on the 16s, they're all scalloped. They all have 18 bolts, so the weld-on piece will also be scalloped. And this is really good for probably really up to 4,000 horsepower. This you can use on a 15.3 wheel, a 16-inch diameter with a 15.3 spec.
Okay, so this is just our scallop ring, but for a 16-inch.
Correct. And if you use the heavy-duty center, the SFI spec would be 15.3. If you use the standard center, the SFI spec would be 15.1.
Okay, good to know, good to know. And we can run these, we're just running these all with the grade 8 bolts. When we go to the 15.3 spec, do we have to change the beadlock bolts?
No, we use the same grade 8 bolt.
Same grade 8 bolt. Okay, great. All right, so then what's this big daddy?
Ooh, this is the heavy-duty one. This is the top fuel center. It has 24 bolts. Obviously, it's for a 16-inch diameter wheel. It would be knurled on both sides. And like all our other rings, they're all made of 70-75. But this is for your 15.4 spec. So this would match up with your 15.4 center that it would be good up to 18,000 horsepower.
That's a lot of horsepower.
That is. Don't drive that car in the street.
Yeah, so just feeling this thing, you can feel the meat on it. I mean, it's a thicker ring altogether, 24 bolts on there, Neuralon on the backside. Like that's going to definitely hold some horsepower there. And this is typically on a double beadlock wheel
Correct.
as well,
Yes.
correct? Okay, and then bolts on this, we've actually gone to the socket head cap screw that a lot of the teams had asked for.
Yes.
Great, great. Well, I think that we kind of went through that all there. We've got the SFI specs, we've got the bolts, different lock rings that are available. And again, as we always say, we're always happy to answer any questions you might have. Give us a call and we'll talk you through it. All of these rings here we have in all the options too, of course. We've got them polished, we've got them black, we've got them black and machined. And happy to make any configuration for you that you'd like to see. I think in our drag race industry, we got about 240 different combinations we can put together. So, but really, look, we work hard to make them not only perform, but to look good and be a showpiece on your car. And that's what all the options are for.
Yes, they are.
They are. Great. Well, give us a call if you have any further questions. And then hopefully we answered most of those today. But if not, give us a call.